Chapter 14, Incense. Xianxia practiced until the sun set, only then did he stop. Even after this period of time, not only was he not fatigued, he even felt more alive. Ever since he merged with that golden skeleton, his strength seemed to skyrocket. Walking 20 miles today didn't even tire him out, even with the added weight of the sack of rice he hadn't become fatigued. It was only when he was cultivating his tempered body that he would truly feel pressured. Thinking about that morning's practice, Xianxia couldn't help but shudder. That pressure was like the heaven and earth were crushing him, horrifying. But with strain pressure come development. Without extreme pressure, how could you possibly advance? Only then would a person's true potential show. And only then would your strength grow, step by step, each time breaking past your limits. Though currently, even after throwing large amounts of punches and kicks out, Xianxia has yet to feel any fatigue. He doesn't feel strained. How can he force out his potential and improve? This made things difficult and made him depressed. That skeleton also gave him extreme recovery, making the basic skills of the school useless. Did that mean that he could only practice for half an hour each day at sunrise? Daylight had around 12 full hours, and yet he could only practice for half an hour. What would he do the rest of the time? Sleep. This was obviously impossible. Xianxia immediately rejected the idea. While getting stronger by only practicing 30 minutes each day while sleeping the rest. Lucky. So glad he's not following in the footsteps of Contribution Hall Uncle. While he absent-mindedly cooked, Xianxia thought about how he should train to exhaustion. If anyone else knew of this, they would have laughed to death. Other practitioners may have wanted to take it easier, but Xianxia wanted to push himself to the limit. In the end, he still couldn't think of any good methods. Though the main reason was Xianxia needed elixirs to help boost his training. There were also other methods, but in the end, all of these had one thing in common: they required money. In Sky Tower, contribution points were the currency. Alas, Xianxia was poor and only had a measly 12 points. After the rice finished cooking, he wolfed down a few bowls. Although there were no sides dishes, and he could only eat plain rice, Xianxia was very satisfied. That was the only meal in the past few days, which made him full. After dinner, he couldn't go train, so he went to take a bath. After that he lay down and went to bed. Continuing his practice, there would be no result, so he might as well try to solve that problem. Consider the solutions to hasten the work speed. After thinking for a while, he suddenly remembered the black book. One of the pages had something inside, so Xianxia figured that the other pages would be the same. So if he had enough strength, he could unseal each page. The first page contained the golden skeleton, which was also the cause of his current predicament. While the second dealt with the methods to cultivate the tempered body with golden skeleton. However, the third page remained blank. He had already tried to decipher it, but Xianxia concluded he wasn't strong enough yet. With the first and second pages unlocked, Xianxia could start to study them. But after good half day he still couldn't figure them out. Until he accidentally turned to the third page and went into a trance. Xianxia frowned as he started to read the third page. Almost instantly, countless gold words started to appear on the page and jumped into his mind. Then a small whirlpool started to appear in the center of the page. From it arose an antique incense burner. This turn of events left Xianxia in shock, but quickly he started to rejoice. Right, didn't he break through into the fourth stage this morning? Last night he was still in the third stage, but today he's in the fourth. So that's why he couldn't access the third page before. Although it was only one level, it had still hindered his ability to comprehend the third page. After he thought about this, Xianxia couldn't help but feel regret. If this morning he had discovered this, then he wouldn't need to waste time now thinking about it. Calming his beating heart, Xianxia held the incense burner and carefully inspected it. This burner wasn't large in size, and was a common item used by people. But it was half-sealed, with a lid on the mouth and a few holes. It was also antique and of outstanding quality, but it wasn't attention-grabbing at all. Gently he sniffed, but there was no odor, and slowly he lowered it. What is it made of? Even after a while, Xianxia still didn't know but could only go on the information imprinted in his mind. After a short pause, Xianxia opened his eyes with a strange look in them. According to the information in his mind, this incense burner could aid him during training. The burner itself has no special properties, however if you were to gather herbs and burn them in it, the fragrance released would aid you during training. Different herbs were needed for different stages. Unfortunately, Yang Kai had some doubts. The plants needed to aid him at his current level were the 3-leaf Destruction Chaos Spirit Flower and the Dead Jedi Tree Grass. According to his understanding, the value of these 2 herbs were not high, but they were very hard to find. They also possessed small amounts of toxins. Inhaled over a short period of time, these toxins would do no lasting damage, but over many years the accumulation in your body would really injure you. Would these 2 herbs really be effective in helping him? These herbs were definitely available in the contribution hall, but with old Man Meng's personality, he would definitely charge high prices for them. And with only a few points in his possession, how could he spend them like that? There was only one option left. He would have to venture into the Black Wind Mountains to look for them himself. Yang Kai had already hunted in there before, so was quite familiar with its geography, and perhaps the herbs were there. Tomorrow into the mountains he shall go. With his problems currently solved, Yang Kai slowly drifted to sleep. But before he fell asleep, he checked the 4th page so as to not repeat this morning's embarrassing action. Unfortunately, nothing appeared. It seemed that Tempered Body 4th stage was not sufficient for this page. The next morning, Yang Kai got up early. Yesterday's practice had already had such a large impact on his cultivation, so naturally he would make full use of the short time he had to cultivate. Not to mention, he was not a lazy person. While immersing himself in the purple Eastern air gas, that slow but with the might of heaven and earth infused, Tempered Body record fists might gradually unfolded. While he was a stage stronger than yesterday, Yang Kai still didn't make much progress on the fist. You could only perform it 20 times, and when he touched his back, torturous pain responded. His back, hip, and bones all ached, they felt like smashed beans. Inhaling a mouthful of purple gas, his bodily senses as energy became clearer. His meridians all opened up and began to expel the impurities in his body.